Hello, this is David Dean, and yes, the Dragon's Roar is coming back. They had a dev update just a little bit ago that stated that the Lunar Llamas are going to be coming back on February 7th, and you can purchase those llamas with snowflake tickets. Now that brings up a whole world of questions. Are they going to do the entire event again? Are they doing something totally different? Don't know, because last year when they came out with the Lunar Llamas, you purchased them, I believe, for red envelopes that were part of the Lunar New Year event. But don't know what's going on there. I'm just here to tell you what's going to be in the llamas, and I'm using the weapons that came out last year. These should be the same things that are in the llamas when they update them, but I will do a video on that when it comes out to let you know more about the Dragon's Roar. I do have it leveled up to 130, and that's with Sunbeam, but I did not have the perks or perk ups to get all these all the way up. It is a semi-automatic rifle with modest fire rate and capacity that penetrates numerous enemies and sets them on fire. Fire damage is effective against nature enemies but weak against water enemies. That is a big issue that I will be showing, both positive and negative. And this has always been a weird weapon, and reason I did this weapon first of everything you can get out of the llamas, I'll be doing some on heroes and weapons later, other heroes and weapons later. But when this weapon first came out, I didn't want to wake him up yet. Oh well. But when this weapon first came out, it was hailed as the #1 weapon in the game. Everybody, if you got the right perks on it, people were just going crazy saying how good this weapon was. Then it got kind of nerfed. People went crazy, and there's videos out there about people going off on Epic about that. And then they finally came out with the re-perk combobulator. And then it kind of went to, I think, basically a kind of average weapon. But there's a few aspects of this, and I will get out of the mission later on after we do the gameplay, just to show you the stats, and you will see the DPS on it is actually kind of low compared to other assault rifles. But this thing first has penetration on it, which helps mainly when doing trap tunnels. But also it has affliction on it, even though it's not one of the perks. So basically you get a 7th perk out of it, which is pretty cool. But when I came in here and tested it, the test results for that affliction damage is totally different than my normal affliction damage. And want to show that also with penetration. Here we go. It does not go through like the shield here. I wanted him to charge me to get rid of him for a second or two while I finish off the rioter. Come on, there you go. Good little puppy. Alright, so do a little damage to him. You will see the affliction, what, 5,000? That's because it's 130. Alright. So now we got our Smasher friend finally all alone. And I'll show that here with the affliction. I got 6,100. That is much higher than normal. And actually, if I keep shooting him occasionally, I will basically get a crit affliction on him. Where are we at? Still 601. We're going to go all the way through this and never get that. Let's see. Still 6. Nope. Zoom out. Almost got him down. I'm telling you the truth. We'll see. Oh, I was out of my phase shift. Should have had the new Spectral Blade. Alright. Still 601. Come on. But for damage, what are we getting? Decent damage out of it. There we go. 10,000 affliction damage. Now, I've never gotten that from any other weapon where I get like a crit affliction rating that would stick on it. And just to show you, because I don't want to compare a 106 to a 130, I also made this down tiered it. Where is it? Alright. Affliction damage here with my 106 Whisper is 3,400 and some. Affliction damage with my sniper rifle, Super Shredder, 106. same thing. Whoop, what do we get? So 3008. Get out of that. One more time with the whisper. And you got 3083. So there we're getting the same thing. The 106 Dragon's Roar is at 4,600, even though they're at the same levels. So somehow on this, we'll go ahead and down him. The Dragon's Roar is putting out different affliction damage than any other weapon. And even when I use the other dragon weapons, they were not giving out that affliction. They were giving out the same as affliction damage as every other weapon in the game. So when you look at the DPS on this weapon, it is very misleading because, first of all, you got the damage from penetrating multiple husks, and then you have really high affliction damage on it. Let's see, and this thing is absolutely great for taking out these nature husks. And here's our other smasher. Yeah, I hopped around. There we go. But I have to say, for the Dragon's Roar overall, it is a fun weapon. It is great looking. I hate the fact I've gotten so used to on my Hemlock and other fully automatic weapons that I no longer like the clicking dozens of times to take out a husk. I don't want to be sitting here doing this. Mainly, if you got one of those Frost Knight event missions, you're in there for over an hour, that's going to get a little bit monotonous. Also, the penetration damage is only when you can get them lined up right. Alright, there we go. But let's go ahead and take him down. This is with 106. Once again, affliction damage, 46,000. Other weapon, and actually I can stack it with another weapon, which is really strange for affliction damage. So here, affliction damage, 3,000 again. And while that one's still going, so let's do it with Super Shredder. And there you got 2 affliction damages showing up on top of each other, which normally does not happen. The only time I've ever seen that happen is with the quad launcher. So, just to let you know about that, this is a pretty cool rifle. It is great for taking out nature husks because it is fire damage. And it does use medium ammo, which a lot of people want a weapon that can use up that ammo because they always have tons of extra of it. But alright, we're going to hop out, take a look at the numbers a little bit more. And I look forward to doing this a little bit more with some of the other heroes and weapons coming out with the Lunar Llamas, just so you know whether you want to actually do those or not. I do want to thank everybody for supporting me on Support a Creator. It is David Dean. We also figured out the issue on PlayStation 4. If you try to put mine or anybody else's name in there a second time, it autofills and put an extra space on it, which does not allow it to work properly. So you got to backspace once, then it works fine. But on the Dragon's Roar, first of all, as I said, it has your standard 5 perks and then a 6 perk. This is not static, it does changes. I love the fact that I got increased impact by 40% and stun duration increased by 1 second. That is very rare 6 perk. There is other 6 perks out there, like this one. I have a second Dragon's Roar. It has snares target by 30% for 6 seconds. That's a pretty common one. There's also, and I did a video on this, where if you kill something with the weapon, it ends up spawning a Roman candle and shooting up sparks all over the place and doing area effect damage. When it came out though, and when I did the video, it was not leveling up the damage with the weapon. So basically the damage you did with the weapon at level 1 was the same damage you did with the weapon. By weapon, I mean the Roman candle at 130. They did finally fix that a few months ago after I did the video, but it's still a very underwhelming 6 perk. It's cool, it's something different, but unless they change the damage and up it a second time, it's really not worth it for me. Get in this, modify perks. You do not have a choice. It will be a fire weapon, that is it. But like I said, it says fire, but it's actually fire with affliction, and it's a different type of affliction damage than all other weapons, which means you're allowed to stack affliction with other people and other affliction types, which is actually pretty cool. Here you get your standard ones, crit damage, crit rating damage, and fire rate. I went with crit damage and then crit rating and crit damage down here, just because there's really no great over-the-top build with this weapon as far as perks go as you do with some other ones. Magazine size, durability, reload, and weapon stability. Magazine size, and then I went with crit damage. You can go with headshot damage. This was one of the first weapons that came out with that headshot perk, and people just loved it. But now there is so much better ones and better weapons to use it on. So, as I said, I went crit rating, crit damage. Here, I would actually go for damage to afflicted targets, but because I was doing this video and I wanted to show the affliction damage, I did not want this perk to interfere with that. So, after I get this video done and everything works on it, I will be changing it over damage to afflicted targets just to increase it even more. But yeah, if I had, if you were to ask me, and actually I'll show it here, I was talking before about the DPS, and this is at base level, and then you compare that to the base level of the Hemlock, it's almost 3,000 less DPS, damage per second, which is pretty huge. Nocturno, it's 2,400 less. Silent Spectre, it's 2,200 less. So yeah, the DPS on this weapon is not that big. The reason it is a good weapon still is because it can penetrate husks shooting multiple ones. In a trap tunnel, line up 3 or 4 of them as they're coming in, and then you're doing massive damage with it. And then also for that screwy affliction damage it's doing, which is much higher than normal affliction damage, has a chance of critting on all ticks when it does it. And the fact you can stack that crit affliction damage with other affliction damage weapons. So there you go. If I had to rate it, would it be in my top 10 assault or top 5 assault rifles? Probably not. Would it be in the top 10? Yeah. So I would say it's an above average weapon. It's good. I used to keep it on me for Nature Husk. Right now in the game, all smashers are normal. But when the Season 7 is over and we move to Season 8, chances are we're going to have the Elemental Smashers back. And that's where this one's going to shine, is doing damage to those Nature Elemental Smashers. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Also let me know what weapons. As you can see, I have all the weapons here. The Dragon Might, the Dragon's Fury, the Dragon Fire. There's also a pistol, Dragon's Breath, that is not part of the Lunar event. That was just a weapon that was in the game since the beginning of it, which I absolutely love. But yes, so we will be talking more about this in the future. Take care and have an amazing day.